happens when what is it called? An irresistible force meets an immovable object?
An unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
Yeah, an unstoppable force.
They go right through each other without interacting.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually what physics would say, because to be unstoppable or immovable means you have infinite energy, and the only thing that can have infinite energy are photons, so they would just go straight through each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We're seeing an experiment in action. You know what I'm talking about?
No. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about FaZe Clan.
Oh, okay. What's going on with FaZe Clan?
Apparently, they have a member, FaZe Virus, FaZe Clan put out a tweet that says, "Happy Pride Month, sending love to our LGBTQ plus friends, family, and community." And FaZe Virus, who is Muslim, retweeted it and said, "Just to clarify that I don't support any kind of LGBTQ or anything similar, even if FaZe does. I am a Muslim."
Based.
So which one is gonna win out?
Yeah.
That's the question. At the moment, it appears I would call it the immovable object of the.
I would definitely say Islam is the immovable object in this case.
Yeah. That's what seems to be winning out.
There's been a tireless battle, especially in the UK of all places, but we're seeing it mostly in Europe, between LGBT alphabet soup advocacy and the Islamic migrant communities, because they're at odds. Which is funny because most of them were being supported by the same left-wing side of things for a while, and now they're being forced to pick a side. It's like, well, you understand that Islam at its core is right-wing by definition.
Yeah. Well, apparently FaZe Clan is supporting its Muslim member to be homophobic. So I guess unless they get more pressure, I guess that's the way they're going to go.
Yeah, probably. The thing is, being Islamic kind of gives them a pass.
Apparently so.
Yeah, that's just the way their little hierarchy oppression is made. Mm-hmm. Being Islamic just gives you a pass to be homophobic.
Yeah. Because if he had said the exact same thing and ended it with, "I'm a Christian," I have a feeling it would not have gone.
What's really funny too is I don't understand. I guess just because the U.S. is power and people see us as being opposed to Islam and not, specific power structures within Islamic nations. But Islam should not be considered a minority group, at least in the world. It shouldn't be worldwide. It is the most popular religion on the planet.
Islam?
Yeah, there are more Islams than Christians.
You sure about that?
Yeah, there are more Muslims than Christians on the planet.
I knew it was growing faster. Yeah. I thought there were still more Christians. I don't know.
Yeah, no, they're if the entirety of the U.S. were Christian, which you and I both know it's not. I'm not even sure if the bulk is anymore. Then Christianity would probably be the most popular religion on the planet, combining that being the third most popular country with a bunch of Catholic countries that are, they have it as their state religion. But when we look at how populous some of these Middle Eastern countries like Pakistan and stuff are, it kind of blows the Catholic countries out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. It's funny because we've seen this clash a few times during Pride Month. I have to use quotations. Yeah. And it hasn't come to a head yet. And I'm wondering if it ever will. It eventually has to, because neither of these sides are going to budge. See, Russia says it's Christian, but how many people in Russia are actually Christians? Because I personally have met a lot of Russian atheists.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just funny to see the infighting, because it's basically the left versus the left.
Yeah.
Go at it, guys. Just destroy each other. I don't care.
There's about nearly a billion Hindus. Not all of India's Hindu, but a big bulk of their population is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty popular religion. A lot of people don't realize that because of just the population of India, it only takes one country to make that religion popular.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the Vomitorium, episode 149. As always, I am your host, The Metal, and joining me is my co-host, Marsupial Gamer, who just came back from a movie. How'd it go?
Yeah. Good. I'm just sweaty because I was driving outside in the heat. Just came in and immediately lowered the temperature in here because I'm just sweating. But movie was good. Top Gun Maverick or whatever. I saw people saying it's the best movie that will ever no better movie will ever be made from this point forward. I don't think they were saying it's the best movie of all time.
Well, they're saying it was like a capstone.
Yeah, they're just saying that they doubt that any better movie will be made after that. So, maybe it was, it was a classic. I think it was a fair sequel to the original Top Gun. It was decent.
Yeah, that's.
So, I mean,
decent sounds like it would be a pretty standard sequel to Top Gun, because Top Gun was decent. It's got some memorable scenes, but like as a whole movie, it's just decent.
I would say it was, a worthy successor. Like, it just, it's one of those typical sequels that's basically the same movie over again.
And completely unnecessary.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess, but I mean, it's good because it's the same. Because it's the same as the original good movie.
Formulaic. It's like you can't fuck it up.
Yeah. They could have. They could have made, the one female pilot be the hero. Yeah, but they didn't. She was there.
Did they resurrect Goose only to kill him again? Ask GMT.
No, not exactly. But Iceman was in it, so yes. If you want to see that,
I was asking because as far as I was told, and I guess because they added him to the official casting late, so I didn't see it. Maybe to keep it a secret and for as long as possible. I didn't know that Val Kilmer was even going to be in the movie. He's like, I don't want to watch a movie without Val Kilmer in it. He was the best part of the first one.
Keep in mind, Val Kilmer is very old and very fat.
Yes, he's getting a lot of weight.
But he was in it. He had a speaking role, believe it or not. But he was not exactly, getting into the pilot suit and... Tom Cruise, on the other hand, oh my God, that guy never ages.
He looks the same, but with crow's feet. That's it. Like his aging hasn't even been that much. It's just like a little bit of wrinkles here and there.
I think he's had some really, really good plastic surgery.
Probably that would be my guess with his age.
Yeah, I mean, you can sort of see it in his face. Like, his face is a little too smooth in places, and I don't think it was just makeup or CGI. I think that's just what he looks like.
Yeah, because he's just shy of 60. So you'd expect he'd have to have something by now to look the way that he still does.
Yeah. But he was great. And he flew those planes, and it was a great movie. It just, like I told you, I don't know if we were live. Yeah, I guess we were. It just wasn't all that immersive, but I think that was just my theater. I was just there were some distractions. But I had no complaints. No complaints.
Well, and that's a case of no news is better than bad news, right?
Yeah, but to answer
watch
GMT's
without
question,
complaints these days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to answer GMT's question, Val Kilmer did not fly anything. He was in the movie, but he was not exactly combat ready.
They should have had him like piloting a drone from like a video game console or something like that.
The really surprising thing was the previews for Mission Impossible, the new Mission Impossible movies.
Can't believe
apparently there's
one.
Apparently there's two. There's a part 1 and a part 2 coming.
Yeah, they said they were going to make it a 2-parter.
And Tom Cruise looks great in that too. So that looks like it'll be a good movie.
Yeah, but I was actually talking to my dad about that recently, and he's like, I hate Mission Impossible. Like, why? It's like, because, it used to be a TV show. It was a team. And then in the movie remake, what happens? Everyone but Tom Cruise dies.
Yeah.
And then they make sequels.
Yeah. They decided to make it a Tom Cruise franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think I saw the last one. I don't know how many of them I've seen.
I just like the song. That's like the only thing I like about it.
Yeah, and they played the song in the preview. So we'll see. There was a cool scene in the beginning of Top Gun where he's flying like a amazing looking supersonic, like not just supersonic, but like Mach 10 experimental airplane. I'm thinking, God damn, Mach 10, that's like 6,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's insane.
What's even more insane is that he actually did that. Because Tom Cruise is so nuts that he wants to do his own stunts and has, since the first one, had his pilot's license and flies around like fighter jets and stuff like that.
Yeah. There was a bit of... I
have respect for him for that.
Yeah. I was a little bit confused in that the part of the sort of... I don't think this ruins anything. Part of the plot is that the enemy, which they never really name, has better airplanes than we do. Okay. And I was like, they do? Okay.
That's not that far-fetched these days, at least. If you were to rewind the clock like 10, 20, maybe 30 years ago, we kind of had like the best planes, period. Some people are close, but most of them were allies. Like England has made some pretty good planes. They're the ones that made the Harrier that takes off vertically. But like for the most part, though, Lockheed Martin is at the top of like the plane making technology. That's here in Texas.
Yeah.
But now, God, China's making missiles that are confusing our people because it's not even that China's more competent. It's that we're less competent than we used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I haven't kept up on, fighter jet technology. So it was interesting, if a bit disconcerting, I guess. It's like, is that really true? Do they have better planes than we do? Because that's not good.
I don't think we know. That's actually the problem.
Yeah.
We used to be sure. It's like, no way in hell.
Yeah. But, like I said, it was basically the original Top Gun over again with different actors, a slightly different mission, but basically the same movie.
No, it would have to be high altitude GMT if they were flying at Mach 10. Yeah, because there's just too much atmosphere down here. We have missiles that can get up to about Mach 20. That was like the fastest missile we ever flew. We're pretty sure that recent Chinese missile goes even faster than that. But that was all like stratosphere stuff when those were flying. You wouldn't even want to put a person up there.
Yeah, the beginning of the movie, it looks like a stealth bomber kind of thing, but it's some experimental airplane. He has to wear basically a spacesuit.
Yeah.
To fly it. So they,
like he's about to do a halo jump.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's practically halfway into outer space. I mean, it shows him at extremely high altitude. So yeah. It was a pretty cool first scene. Don't miss it.
So. Well, I mean, hopefully you don't miss the first scene. I know people who walk into movies late. My problem has always been I like to have something to drink while I'm watching a movie. Yeah. And normally it's never a problem because I just sip at it slowly throughout the movie. But sometimes everybody wants to go out and eat before the movie, right? You go get dinner and then you watch the show afterwards. And, you're drinking with your meal, and then I still want to have the drink with the movie. And then halfway through the movie, you're like, ah, damn it, I got to piss.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not worried about missing the beginning of the movie. It's somewhere like about 45 minutes in that it's getting me.
Yeah. Well, luckily I didn't have to stop and go to the bathroom. Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you want to go out to see a movie, that's a good one.
It's not my recommendation. I have a better recommendation that's in theaters right now.
And I was just going to say, if you miss
Massive Talent.
What's that?
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
I haven't heard of that.
You haven't heard of that? Oh my God. No, that is a much better movie. You should have saw that instead. Let me make sure that's the actual name. If it's not, it's close to it. Unbearable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's the Nick Cage movie where Nick Cage plays himself.
Okay, yeah. Is that showing right now?
It is in my theaters, or at least the tickets are available. I don't know if it actually started showing or not. Let's see.
Wait.
April 22nd. April. Yeah, so it's already out.
So I doubt that's still in the theaters.
Oh, it was last I checked. Maybe I saw it at the very end of its run. That's when the tickets were available.
Yeah, they come and go fast these days.
Typically a month is about the average. It depends how good a movie. Like maybe it'll run 2 weeks if it's not doing well. Maybe it'll go like a month and a half if it's doing exceptionally well. But on average, about a month.
I heard Everything Everywhere All at Once is pretty good.
I've been hearing that. I have still yet to watch a trailer for it, so I don't know. I'll probably just catch it once it's like easily available.
Yeah.
I'm not going on to any of the paid stream. Well, I might, if it's on Paramount, I have access to it, but like I'm not going out of my way to watch it.
I guess I would say Top Gun is a good movie to see in the theater because
planes,
the vistas,
huge
planes,
screen, yeah,
very cool. Did I lose you?
Up. No, I'm here. It's just my camera decided to be stupid.
You're stuck.
I know. Wondering why I got stuck. Discord being stupid.
I am halfway through the Scream movie on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
By the way.
Let me change cameras real quick. I'll set my other camera for a second while see if you give my camera a break by unplugging and plugging it back in.
It's weird.
No. It'll even pop back up. There we go. Let's see. You want to work this time? There we go. We're back. Luckily, I have so many cameras. I even have this if I wanted to plug it into. Like, I've got too many cameras.
That's cool. I'm going to turn on my lights because the sun's going down.
We got a professional setup over here almost.
Yeah. Almost.
Making your GMT.
So you
says as someone with a decent projector, I'm halfway to making my own theater with blackjack and hookers.
Excellent.
Yeah. So the important news. We got important news. Dropped during the usually unenthusing PlayStation State of Play. I don't think I've ever been excited for a State of Play, especially most of the Final Fantasy things that have been talked about recently for it have just been Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff. And you know how excited I get for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Which we didn't get any of that this time, much to your shock, apparently, from what you were texting me. But we got a more important announcement, the one that I actually have been wanting more information on because I could not tell before whether it looked like an exciting game or not. And we got Final Fantasy 16 coming next summer to PlayStation 5. Probably going to be a timed exclusive, I would assume, similar to how 15 was, where it was like PlayStation 4 only for a little while. Then there was like the Kingsglaive / Windows edition that came out later. Yeah. And so I don't think I'll end up playing it right away, but I will play it eventually, like I did with 15. And it looks not the way I want Final Fantasy to look, but a better alternative than what I thought it was going to be from the initial trailer. Because if you remember the initial trailer, they didn't really show any combat. The closest thing they showed was like the main character standing in a ring with a boss approaching it. They didn't actually even show him like use his weapon against the boss or anything. And the way they were showing the angle, it kind of looked closer to like Witcher or maybe even Dark Souls style combat. But we got to see combat this time. And wow, is that wrong? It's about as Witcher Dark Souls as people trying to say Strangers of Paradise is Dark Souls, which it's not. It's more of like a Devil May Cry style game with like fast-paced action combos, which you would expect because that means you could do like explodey spells and stuff. Almost like a natural progression from where you'd want like Kingdom Hearts to be. Is that where I want Final Fantasy to go? No. But
yeah,
it's better than the alternatives they would give me because I do like Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I don't quite understand any of that, but I'll take your word for it.
Have you never played Devil May Cry?
No.
Oh, such a fun game. Fun franchise. Except for 2. Well, I enjoy 2, but I'm also a masochist. Don't play 2.
All right.
That's kind of common in video game franchises, where you kind of have to be a masochist to enjoy the sequel to some of them. Like, don't play Zelda 2 for the most part. Some of us will enjoy it, but most people won't. Don't play Final Fantasy 2 for the most part. Don't play Devil May Cry 2. Like, what's it with 2s? I don't understand that.
I don't know.
Mega Man 2 is like the exception there. It's like the best one in the franchise.
Well, yeah, when they start out real strong, then they're like, well, let's see what happens if we go in a completely different direction. It was like, no, that was bad.
Yeah.
Whereas Mega Man was like, okay, we kind of... Yeah, but like the original Mega Man was like, okay, we don't really know what we're doing, but we're gonna try something. And then they're like, okay, I think we got it, but let's just do it better.
Yeah, it's like 6? No. This time 8. Cooler power-ups too.
Yeah. Gran Turismo 2 is freaking awesome.
Yeah. But like, so Devil May Cry was a kind of like hack and slash game built in the same engine as Resident Evil 2. They literally just took Resident Evil 2 apart, kind of like reskinned Leon into Dante, the Demon Slayer. His hair is even the same, just white. Like, it's the same shape, but white. He's got like a red trench coat on, and they gave him this huge like claymore and guns, and you hunted down demons. They threw you into this castle. You were trying to figure out what happened to like your father in the past and some other things coming back to haunt you. And it's a very fun game, very combo heavy. And as the game progresses, especially Devil May Cry 3, which is a prequel to the first game, the mechanics have gotten better. It's strayed further from a Resident Evil type engine, and it's just this really combo heavy hack and slash game, much in the same vein as God of War, I guess, is another one that you'd probably be able to picture easier because everybody has at least seen old God of War gameplay at some point in time.
Yeah.
It's that type of hack and slash game. And that's what this Final Fantasy is looking like, is that type of like Devil May Cry, God of War style game. And not like Dark Souls, which is a plus for me.
Well, do you want to comment on the trailer here?
Sure, we can. Because there are some very interesting points to it. They showed off the icons. Which for old school Final Fantasy fans, icons are kind of just the new name for espers or eidolons. They've been using it since 14, I think. 15 also kind of uses it. 14 uses both the names icons and primals interchangeably, depending on which character's talking about it, because different alliances have different names. I kind of like icon, because much like how Eidolon is just the word idol, an icon's like a statue or a god. You still know icons.
Yeah.
I mean, you see, there's Garuda, there's Ifrit, Bahamut.
Mm-hmm.
I see Titan was here too, right there. We'll see Shiva soon. Shiva's blonde in this one.
Rama is in there.
Yeah. All the fun ones that everybody's used to seeing.
And Odin, I noticed.
And I can tell, like, a lot of the design for the icons in this one take heavy influence of, like, combining the 14 and 15 versions together.
Yeah. So that was a little bit of gameplay there.
Yeah, you'll see a little bit more too, but it's very fast-paced. It seems aerial combat, similar to, like, Kingdom Hearts. Devil May Cry had done that too, so did God of War. So you could tell it's very much a hack-and-slash game.
Yeah.
It's kind of a natural progression from 15, because 15 had a lot of, like, aerial combos and stuff like that too.
Yeah. And keep in mind, I have this slowed down, so it's actually even faster than that.
Oh, yeah, no, it's fast when you're watching it at full speed. A lot of it reminds me of Devil May Cry. Like, when he was, like, swirling the sword around is, like, a move that Dante does.
Yeah.
We have, like, the Warp Strike. Seems like it's coming back from 15. It looks really fun.
Cool.
Would I still prefer a turn-based Final Fantasy game? Yeah. But, again, compared to all the other things Square's been dangling in front of us, this is a godsend. I will take a Devil May Cry Final Fantasy any day over the other stuff. There's Shiva. It's got, like, this black, gold, and white outfit.
It kind of reminds me of like a fighting game almost, where they had 2 health bars.
Yeah.
I guess in some scenes. Bahamut. See, there's Odin.
Yep. And it seems like it's going to be... There's Phoenix too, yeah. So there's going to be, like, boss fights with Icon versus Icon. Would you see, like, the health bar there?
Yeah.
So that's
kind of
cool.
There's Rama.
Diamond Dust.
Yeah. What is up with that? Garuda?
I find it funny. So Garuda in Final Fantasy has only been a woman fairly recently, like within the last decade. Traditionally, Garuda was just a bird.
Yeah.
And I understand why they made Garuda a woman. They're trying to actually take it more to, like, the Hindu god that it's based off of, so it needs more of a human form. But it's kind of funny how, if you scroll back the clock, Garuda looks completely different than the Esper did historically.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited.
What is?
I would still like to see more, but that's Ifrit versus Phoenix. That's what those images are. See, there's Ifrit's
That's
horns.
Ifrit at the bottom?
Yeah, because Ifrit has, like, those horns that kind of, like, hook forward and then go all the way back.
Oh, yeah. Neat. So, yeah, that does seem to be the theme, is the icons having battles together against each other.
So we're going to get basically Final Fantasy style kaiju fights, which I am all for. You know, again, if we're going to go this direction, it reminds me of Bayonetta, right? When, like, Bayonetta in the 3 trailer did this too, but she'll, like, summon Madame Butterfly or that dragon thing that she's going to do in the new one, and fight some other monster, which is made by the same guy who made the first Devil May Cry, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to get those type of things, and I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I like my turn pace, but it's better than Dark Souls or Witcher. It's better than whatever they're doing in Final Fantasy VII Remake, which my brother still tries to argue with me. He's like, no, it's the same thing. It's like, dude, I've touched it too. They're not the same thing. There are stark differences between those games. 7 and 15 aren't even the same combat style. It's better than... God. They could have decided to make it a rhythm game. You know, like there's all kinds of things that Square could have tried to do, and I'm fine with this because it's going in like the Stranger of Paradise direction, which I think widely Stranger of Paradise is a good game. It's just too narrow. There's no exploration in it, so hopefully this game has exploration, like 15 did.
Well, that's cool. The bummer is that it's not coming out for a year.
Yeah, but you know, that gives you plenty of time to finish 9 through 15.
That's right.
Excluding 11 and 14. Because not only do you not need to play those because they're MMOs, there's no way you could finish either of those games in that time. Maybe 14. Somebody could rush you through. I could rush you through 14. I own the whole game now. I'm almost level cap. 11, no, you can't get rushed to that game. That's impossible. That game it'll take you like 3 years to play 11.
Even if I quit my job and that's all I do.
A year and a half. Like maybe if you had a good party and you only played 11, you might have 11 done by the time that game comes out, but then not the other Final Fantasy games. It's a slow game. You know, it's a 2002 RPG. It's a little faster now if you play the official version because they've done a lot of quality of life updates to it over the years. A lot more experience gained and stuff. But yeah, I'm a little excited. I'm just a little. Still need to see more, but I'm okay with this direction.
You excited about all the PlayStation VR games that they announced?
So they announced specifically that, and this one will be both with and without VR, but obviously they're programming it with VR in mind. The Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah.
And my thing is, did Resident Evil 4 really need a remake? Of all of the Resident Evil games, it's the one that holds up the best that you could go back and replay it. It's not even my favorite, but I'll like 3 is my favorite, but I'll go back and say that Resident Evil 4 holds up the best. You could pop in an old copy of it and enjoy it just like you did the first time. It's aged very well. They wanted to do an HD touch-up, that would have been something. I think the only thing that you could do to improve this game is, I guess, improve Ashley's AI. It really wasn't that bad. People overreact to it. It was better than any other escort AI at that time, and by a mile. But like maybe co-op. Somebody could plug in another controller or whatever and control Ashley. She still can't do anything more than what you could do, but you could like guide her away from the monster, like the zombie. They really weren't zombies in that game. They're controlled by parasites, but from the enemies. That'd be something. I don't know. But the game, I don't want them to change it. I don't want them to pull a Resident Evil 3 remake on Resident Evil 4. 2 remake was fine. Still had the spirit of 2. You still went around the police station like you did the mansion and everything, and it felt like it. But then like 3, they fucked up so bad. They kind of took away the exploration part. Problem a lot of modern games have. Everything just became hallways. It became a very linear game. Freaking Nemesis became like a watered down version of Mr. X, the Titan from the first one, or from second, which they even remade the Titan in the second remake to be more like how Nemesis was, because he was really only in the B plot for Leon's story in the original version of 2. Like, they just did so many stupid things with 3 that I don't want to see them doing that with Resident Evil 4 as well. Just go back and play the original. It's good. You can still play it on Steam. And then there's Street Fighter.
Eventually, are they going to remake all the Resident Evil movies or games?
What happens when they run out? Because Resident Evil 6 was the last one of the old style. Because all the remakes are technically in the Resident Evil 7 and Village format, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, after they finish with 6 and make it to the new format, are they going to turn 7 into the same format, or will they change formats by then, or will they go all the way through and they'll have a remake of the remakes?
Well, I mean, so one of the things they announced was that they're re-releasing, I guess, Resident Evil Village
which is
in VR. Yeah. Presumably with updates to the graphics or something. I don't know.
Probably.
I'm not going to get a VR.
Maybe they'll let you spend longer time with the Dami Mommy because she was only in the one section, and that's what everybody was looking forward to.
Yeah, really. It's funny that she was prominently featured in all of the trailers, but then only is in one section.
Well, because it was like the first section, so you don't want to spoil most of the games. It's like, oh, well, here's the main bad guy of the first section.
Wasn't she the main bad guy of the whole game?
No.
So Street Fighter 6.
Street Fighter 6. I don't know how to feel about this, but apparently it's going to have an open world story mode, which could go really, really bad or possibly be very, very well. One of the things I liked about my favorite fighting game of all time, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, is that its story mode was not a fighting game. There was a couple fights in it, but it was kind of like a 3D platformer, like a run and gun hack and slash game, similar to playing like Yakuza or something like that, all the way back on the PlayStation 2. That was cool. And I liked it because all the bonus stuff in Mortal Kombat Armageddon was optional. You did not have to play any of them. You could just, if you liked it, you could play it. They gave you multiple ways of unlocking characters. You didn't have to play the story. You could play enough versus mode or play enough of the kart racing to unlock tokens to buy characters and stuff. That was cool. So I think one problem could be if you're going to be forced to play the story mode. Highly doubt it, because Street Fighter's had the opinion that characters should just be unlocked so that competitive people can just play as all the characters competitively from the beginning. So I don't think that'll be an issue. So yeah, as long as story mode is completely optional, that's good. And it also depends on how they execute this open world story mode. Because is it going to be a beat 'em up game? Similar to like how Mortal Kombat Armageddon was? It would make sense for Street Fighter to have like a Yakuza style beat 'em up game. Mm-hmm. But it's also Street Fighter, so are you just going to walk around and wind up in fights? Oh, actually, you know what would be really cool? Street Fighter random encounters. Where you're like walking around the open world doing things, and all of a sudden you end up in like these quick matches where there's like a person on the other side and you have to beat them up real quick so that it ends. And then you go to the next one or whatever. Like maybe
I imagine it'll be like Mortal Kombat 10. I mean, I played a little bit of that where it's like you get into these scenes where you have to push a button at a certain time. And then all of a sudden, and then you get into a fight. I don't know, guessing.
I would love to see a fighting game include random encounters. That would be funny. Because, I mean, a fighting match, it's already kind of like a random encounter. How much does a round usually last? Like somewhere between 20 to 30 seconds in your average fighting game. They'll give you like a 99 timer on the clock, so you have like a minute and a half, but it doesn't ever last that long. Unless you get like two really good people trying to time each other out. So it's like, a quick encounter of just like a random opponent pops up, you got to beat them up real quick. Maybe you have to beat up 3 successive opponents. Like after you beat one, there's another one that just runs into the fray, and it's like boom, half a minute to a minute encounter right there. That actually could be a cool way to do it. It doesn't have to be random. They could be wandering around the overworld as well, because I know people seem to like that. But that could work for a fighting game. We usually see it in turn-based role-playing games, but it could work for the game type. But I could also see this going really, really bad because it is Capcom. And Capcom makes great games. They also make some not so great games. It seems to be a coin flip with them these days.
Well, the one thing don't like about Street Fighter is just the characters aren't very distinctive. Doesn't seem like to me. It looks like they've got a few of the originals, which I recognize.
I haven't seen the roster yet. Let me look.
It says Ken, Zangief, Dulcim, E. Honda, Blanca, Guile, Cammy. And that's all the ones I recognize. Although Chun-Li is there too.
I actually sent you a screenshot of a tweet the other day. I was like, oh, Pringus, not you. Where he was like, oh, look, they finally casted Chun-Li with an Asian actress. I'm like, why does that matter? It's a voice.
Yeah.
A lot of people were on his tweet, too. It's like, why does it matter? She's just voice acting.
And then, I don't know all these other characters. They must be from later.
Yeah, let me look.
Later
recognize them.
One's DJ, Rashid.
I know DJ, yeah. I know
Jury.
Rashid. Yeah,
Ed,
I know, yeah.
Ed.
Yeah.
And Akuma.
How do you not know Akuma?
I have no idea who Akuma is.
Akuma, the Raging Demon. He was the secret boss in Street Fighter 2, and he's been around since then.
And then all the new characters are female.
Well, I see Lily from Tekken is joining as a guest character.
Yeah, Mimi.
I think. Or no, sorry. They're just mentioning Tekken already has a Lily. This is a chick from Mexico. Okay. She's new. Who else is new? Yeah, Mimi French is new. Marissa's also new. She's Italian.
JP.
He's new.
Russian.
Kimberly's new, and AKI is new.
Yeah.
Those are all the new characters. Everybody else is returning.
Why don't they list Chun-Li? That's weird. I know she was in the preview. Well, anyway, I don't like fighting games anyway. Oh, here she is. Ryu, Chun-Li, and Luke as well.
Yeah. Now, one of the things, too, like, some of these characters, I understand you not basically knowing. Because there were a lot of characters added to the roster between the last version of Street Fighter 3, which is Third Strike, right? And Street Fighter 5. Because there was the Street Fighter Alpha series, which there were 3 Street Fighter Alpha games, and those had large rosters. And then Street Fighter 4 was supported for so long that it went from having like 20 people in its roster to like nearly 50 by the end of it. With a lot of characters that haven't showed up again since then because Street Fighter 5's roster never got that big. Including my favorite character, El Fuerte, who I would love to see come back. El Fuerte is a luchador who wants to be a top chef. And when he runs into the fray, he screams, "It's super dynamic cooking time!" And all of his moves are named after, like, Mexican dishes. Because he's a lucha libre.
Okay.
Yeah. I love El Fuerte.
Yeah. Like if you say
the only character that can freely run forward and backwards. Dan can run backwards, but he has to do an input to run away. While El Fuerte, because of he's supposed to be this nimble luchador, he can like you dash backwards, right? If you hold backwards, you'll block, but if you do a dash backwards, he'll actually turn around and run the other way. So you can kind of like weave in and out and jump onto the person. So you can like dodge things and jump back in. It's really fun, and you can cheese people very well with that. And cheese is appropriate because most of the dishes his moves are named after would have cheese in them.
Interesting.
I like fighting games. I have fun in fighting games. But yeah, I mean, it looks fun. The roster looks fun. I have no idea what the actual open world is going to entail, but at least the versus mode is really the only thing anybody cares about when it comes to Street Fighter anyway. Well, I say that. People were really pissed that 5 didn't launch with a story mode or an arcade. It had like this little trial thing where you would do like 6 progressively harder fights in a row, but it wasn't like a full arcade mode or a story mode.
How does it not have an arcade mode?
Well, it didn't launch in the arcades. That didn't come till later.
Isn't that the whole point of a fighting game?
I know. No arcade mode. Because they was for esport. They wanted it console first so people could play multiplayer. That was the big thing they focused on, was the online mode of the game. Which, to be fair, that code wasn't bad, and it had a really good ranking system compared to most fighting games, because most fighting games' ranking system sucks. You could even become like a world traveler or something, like the wanderer, whatever Ryu's title was like the highest rank you could get if you actually happened to rank up that high.
So what's arcade mode? It's just like going through a list of
fighters. It's like it starts off with the easiest fighter, and then it gets progressively harder. Some games, the story's done through arcade mode, where depending on who you pick, there'll be different dialogue with the characters, and it'll kind of tell you their story. Some later games, they have a separate story mode, where the arcade mode is almost always the same characters, getting progressively harder. And the story mode will change which characters you're fighting in which order, depending on who you're playing. And the hardest fight won't necessarily be as hard as, say, arcade mode, because arcade mode's supposed to be more of a challenge.
All right.
Fighting games have gotten very complicated. Especially if you play... Capcom's fighting games are still pretty easy. If you play ArcSys's fighting games, that's too complicated. Actually, I don't even want to break down how their games work. But Street Fighter has been pretty simple for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Too simple. Because they didn't give a fucking arcade mode until the arcade edition of the game came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like a year, maybe 2 years into Street Fighter V's life cycle that they actually added an arcade mode to the game.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Why does the Kotaku suck so much?
That's an age-old question. I don't know if there's an answer for that.
Sorry, I was looking at an article about Pokemon.
Oh,
and
yes, we do have Pokemon stuff to talk about. We did talk a little bit about it because the trailer dropped. But since then, the internet's been talking about it.
Well, somehow, Kotaku put up a list of all the Pokemon that are in the game, or that we know are in the game. But the list, like, repeats several of them over and over. Like, what? You guys not have editors? What the hell?
No. But you have to ask if Kotaku is... And of course they don't have editors.
Oh my god. It's like the same... Like, I'm just scrolling up and down, and I'm like... They say Meowth like 3 times. Stupid.
Yeah. But the thing I noticed is that for some reason... the internet is just full of horny people, which I've kind of already knew that, but horny people for a kid's game, everybody's just going crazy about these 2 new professors, which style-wise kind of match the 2 legendary Pokemon. One of them, she looks like she's dressed in like caveman clothes underneath her lab coat, very primitive, and the other guy is wearing like very fancy modern clothing that you'd expect somebody to have in like a cyberpunk game or something like that. But they have like really defined features as well. And like the male professor, he's got like a chiseled jaw and he's like big and broad shoulders. And the female professor is like very like tight waist and stuff like that. And it's like, what? Like, have you not noticed professors have kind of been like this for a while? Sure, they've been drawn more anime, but even the Gen 6 professor, Sycamore, was designed to be kind of handsome. Why are you all just going horny on the professors now? I don't get this. It's a kid's game.
Well, like the...
it's a kid.
Yeah, the professor from Pokemon Go is pretty attractive.
Arguably, the one in Pokemon Snap, the new one, probably is too. I've seen a lot of people... talking about that, but not to this level. Like, it was some people who were thirsty for these professors. Everybody's fucking talking about the new ones, and I don't know if it's just because there's more eyes on this game now, just because everybody has a Switch, so more people who casually liked Pokemon but didn't really play the games own them now than they did before. But like, no, dude, it's horny jail. Get the bat, smack him outside the head.
What about Professor Kukui? Kukui?
I don't even remember which one that is.
That's the one from Sun and Moon, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that one. I just forgot their name.
The one
but
with
also
the
Sun
tan.
and Moon is a very, very forgettable game to me.
Yeah. Well, according to Polygon, Professor Sycamore is the hottest one.
Yeah, because people were talking about it when X and Y came out.
Yeah.
And he's French, so if you wanted to get laid by him, you probably could.
I didn't even notice, but yeah, they totally have the outfits of the past and future.
Yeah.
Just like the Pokemon. That's an interesting theme for this game.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going to take it. I'm kind of excited for that. I think the story will be better. It has to be better than fucking Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield story was shit. It's basically global warming. That looked like it was written by people who don't actually believe in global warming, which, that's kind of okay. But like, because they didn't believe in it or whatever, it came off very weak. Like, I'd rather it be written by somebody who like full hog thought the world was going to end, because at least you would have had like this more dramatic story from it. And it was just, I don't know. That, and you didn't even get to see it most of the time because this dude, Leon, the Elite Four guy, the champion, was doing all the work. He's like, no, you're a kid. You need to focus on the Pokemon League. I'll take care of these guys until like the very end. And it's like, dude, that's fucked up. Every other Pokemon game, I'm the one running around doing it. Why is the champion doing it now? Even when you worked with the champion, in Gold and Silver, Lance worked with you. You did double battles with Lance. He wasn't trying to throw you to the side because you're a kid. Like, take the agency away from the player, why don't you? That'll make a good game.
Yeah, really. Well, who are these? What are their names?
One is like Zada or Sada, and I'm trying to remember what the other one is.
Professor Turo?
Toro and Sada. I think those are them.
Oh.
Yeah. Toro, like you say to a bull, because a bull is a toro.
Huh.
Toro.
Someone tweeted, yeah, we saw you from across the Poke Center. We really like your vibes. Can we buy you a Moo Moo milk? Referring to the professors.
Yeah. I tell people, like, man, no, it's actually pretty bad. I have some, like, tweets up here, too. And because Sada, being, like, a cave woman, she's got, like, fangs. It's like slight fangs, like you'd expect from an anime character. And there's some horny person, like, it would be so funny if Sada bit me or something. Ha 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 ha. Why do you want to get bit by her? You kinky motherfuckers.
Here's one. A lot of people will be celebrating the start of Pride Month by asking both Pokemon professors to step on them.
Yeah. But more interesting news with Scarlet and Violet. Toby Fox is back again composing music for Pokemon, as he did with Sword and Shield. But unlike Sword and Shield, you will not have to go out of your way to hear his music. It will not be optional this time. He is composing the main theme for the overworld, like for the field, and then Nintendo is remixing the theme to show up everywhere. So there'll be like the steps version of it, and then there'll be like the mountain version of it and everything. While in Sword and Shield, you had to go to like the battle tower to hear his music, which is a completely optional part of the game you never have to do.
Who's Toby Fox?
Who is Toby Fox? I don't know. Have you heard of this little game called Undertale?
Yeah.
Yeah. He made that.
Okay. Did he do the Pokemon music before this?
He's actually done a couple songs for Nintendo. The first collaboration they had, he did a remix of Megalovania, which is like the big song everybody knows him for Smash Brothers when they did the Sans costume. And the second time was in Pokemon Sword and Shield, where he made the music for the Battle Tower.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And he's back again, doing another song for them, but this song will not be optional. You don't have to like go to this weird tower at the end of the game that's after you've completed it. You will hear it the second you walk into a field.
And this is in the Japanese version too?
Yeah, every version of the game. It's just the song for the game. Yeah.
Neat. That's cool that they're using. I mean, I presume he's American.
Yeah.
American composer. Very good. Good diversity, Nintendo, or Game Freak or whatever.
Pokemon Company. I think, which Game Freak and Nintendo both own, but I'm pretty sure when they do these collaborations, they do it through the Pokemon Company itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's an easier way to keep track of the licensing and stuff that way.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I thought it was cool.
Well,
Toby Fox is really blowing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Neat.
What was your question?
I was just going to say, who came up with the name LeChonk?
Oh,
For the
I'm going to say that has to be the localization office. Because for the most part, Pokemon names aren't the same in like Japanese and English and French and Spanish and stuff like that. You could actually go to Bulbapedia, and I think Cerebi, both of them. If you scroll down, it'll show you what like the names are in every single language. But like the only Pokemon, one of the few exceptions is Pikachu. Is Pikachu in like every language? But then you have like Charizard. His actual Japanese name is Rizardon.
Mm-hmm.
Rizardon, which just means like Lizard King. His name is basically T-Rex, which is funny.
Yeah. So Toby Fox did tweet about that. That apparently his field music has been, and there's multiple variations of it throughout the game.
So it won't get stale, and you'll hear it quite often.
Yeah. Nice. It's even in the trailer.
Yeah. Oh, it's actually one of my favorite Japanese names, and you understand why they don't use that name here. Magmar's Japanese name is Boober. It's just funny because he's a molten duck that looks like he's got a pair of boobs on his head.
Okay.
Boober. It's the best one. Yeah. Let's see. Interesting news. GMT might like, since she's always the one bringing this up. Sega Mega Drive Mini 2 is getting a worldwide release.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Mini 2?
Yes.
Is there a Mini 1?
Sequel to the... Well, there was... So it was the... I'm assuming the North American version will be called the Sega Genesis Mini 2. But I think like 5 or 6 years ago, they made a Sega Genesis Mini. You could find them in places like Walgreens. They actually had a spot that you could put a real cartridge in, because like the 88 games that came on it came in a cartridge that you popped into it, so you could take it out and put like old Genesis cartridges in it. The Mega Drive Mini 2 will have the CD port built into it, and will have some of their games on the CD itself to put in, so you can pop it out and put in Mega Drive CDs.
I didn't know Genesis took CDs.
Yeah, there's a CD port for the Mega Drive. This is Sega CD.
Oh.
It's like Sonic CD and stuff were on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like an attachment. Like you took the Genesis, you put it onto this platform that it attached to. So there was like this CD drive. Yeah.
What about the 32X games?
I don't know. I don't know what this will all take. I just know that you'll be able to play Sega CD games on it, which is kind of cool because you couldn't do that on the last Genesis Mini. And in many ways, I thought the Genesis Mini was better than the Nintendo, like the NES Classic or SNES Classic, because it had an actual port in there where you could plug in like the cartridge from the original games.
Yeah, that's cool.
It still uses USB ports too, which actually that's better, because the NES Classic and SNES Classic has like a proprietary port that's closer to like the Wiimote back-end port for the nunchuck, while this literally is just a USB port, so you could take the controller and plug it into your computer directly and use it as well.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, this one, the output is just standard USB.
Oh, okay.
And HDMI. Because that's how I modded mine. You can hook it right up to your computer.
The controller
It's just
port.
the controller ports are proprietary.
That's what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about the output. I was just talking about the controller. This one, the controller port on the Sega is just USB, so you can plug those controllers directly into your computer if you want.
Oh, plug the controllers into the computer. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you just wanted to like emulate on your computer or whatever. Like it's unlike the NES and SNES, those things you can really only use on the Classic or something else that has that plug. These you could use the controller for anything that uses USB.
Yeah,
Heck,
this is
Genesis
worthless.
controller, you could probably plug it directly into your Switch to play the Genesis games with it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I can't use this on anything else.
Yeah, that's all it's good for.
Proprietary connector. That is a little annoying because I would have loved to be able to use that controller. It's great.
Yeah. It would have been cool to use it on the Switch if it was USB, because the Switch takes USB controllers. Like Nintendo, you launched this at the time that the Switch was out. Why did you not just make your controller that way? It would give people more incentive to buy the Classic.
I don't think they needed more. Didn't it sell out anyway?
I think so, but they built it to sell out. They did not put out as many as they could have.
Yeah. And of course, then they want people to buy separate controllers for the Switch.
As opposed to these, I remember seeing the Genesis Mini 1, or I guess everywhere else it was the Mega Drive Mini 1, in like every Walgreens and CVS I walked into. I even saw it in a couple like Walmarts. Like they were just readily available. If you wanted one, you could pick it up. I saw it at Toys R Us before Toys R Us closed. You know? Like I thought people were sleeping on this. Like it's literally just a slightly smaller Genesis that has HDMI and USB port that can play your Genesis games. And I know plenty of people at Genesis games. I don't know why they weren't buying this thing. I didn't buy it at the time because I was between places, and I really just wasn't buying anything that I didn't want to like set down, hook up, put back into a box later. But I might actually get this because I wanted one, and this is a better version of what I wanted before.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. To think.
I don't have any.
Sega's back in the console business in a very small way, but they're actually doing it right.
Yeah. I don't have any games that would, work in it, but I guess it comes with a bunch, right?
Yeah, it'll come with a single cartridge that has like 80 games in it, right? Which will have all the games you probably would want to play anyway, even if you own the physical ones. It's just the fact that it has the cartridge slot means like, well, I can use the one I already own, which is kind of cool for collectors. Or maybe you've got a save file on it and you want to just pick back up from there. Like maybe, I don't know, you're playing Phantasy Star, right? And you just want to pick up wherever you left off.
Yeah. Well, neat.
I thought that was cool, yeah. What else we got? Oh, have you heard anything about Diablo Immortal? Any reviews or anything? Because it's out. I don't know if anybody's
Not
playing
really.
it.
I installed it yesterday. And I saw that I think Asmongold was playing it, but I didn't watch it, so I don't know. Why? What's going on?
Oh no, I'm asking because it's out. That's something, like it's
Yeah.
finally out on PC.
I've seen two views. Again, I haven't actually watched them, but I saw titles of a couple of videos. Oops. One said it was like the greatest thing ever, and the other one said it is the most disgusting pay to win they've ever seen.
Well, it is a free to play game with a battle pass and premium content like skins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so that's all like normal internet stuff, especially regarding a mobile game. Like you're gonna get those two views no matter what. So once
I'm
in between,
surprised.
we gotta listen to.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it. I guess they caved and brought it out on the PC. So
Yeah.
or is it in some sort of emulator, or is it
Um,
genuine like
the PC
native
version
Windows?
does have higher requirements than if you were, say, running the APK on BlueStacks or whatever. It's unlocked, so like people with like 2K systems can play or 4K systems can play the game in 4K. The PC requirements seem to be higher, like even the base requirements are higher, but most PCs should be able to run it. It does have crossplay. They're the same game. They're just it's interpreting the lower quality assets, and so that's how you can make up for it. And progression, so it's going to be like if you were somebody playing Genshin Impact on your phone and computer back and forth. You do need a Battle.net account to play, but that makes sense if it's doing cross progression, and just
Makes me wonder, did they do it in like Unity or something, or?
I don't know.
I guess they could have done it in Unreal Engine even, because that'll output to iOS and Windows and Android.
Yeah, and even in an interview that they came out and the Blizzard said that they realized that many of the franchise's biggest fans would likely end up playing Diablo Immortal via PC emulators like BlueStacks, and decided to give players an official and polished way to experience the game on PC. Yeah. So they did kind of cave it.
You think?
Yeah.
Players
I mean, I thought that. It's nice to see an official response kind of like trying to casually admit it without actually admitting fault or anything like that. It's like, oh, we're going to admit that you guys wanted a polished version. We're just not going to admit that our idea was bad.
Yeah. Did you know that they released like a Castlevania game? Like a full-blown, it looks like a sequel to Symphony of the Night on mobile.
I did not.
I forget what it's called, but I don't know if you can see that.
All I can see is, I think that's Alucard. It is blurry.
Yeah. We'll zoom out.
I'm assuming it's Alucard because it looks like he's wearing Dracula clothing, but has long, wavy white hair.
It's basically the same icon as Symphony of the Night.
Okay.
But I don't know how I think it was on the homepage one time when I opened up the App Store. But it's called. Well, they actually have Symphony of the Night on here.
Yeah, that's on there.
It's called
Grimoire of Souls.
Grimoire of Souls, yeah. And guess what? It supports controllers. Yay!
Nice. I do like the fact to see that Castlevania or like Konami is doing something with the game. I want to look into this. See who is involved. Let me look at the team.
I actually haven't even opened it yet. I've only installed it. It looks like there are some pay-to-win aspects of it because it is free.
It's got role-playing elements. Cool. I see. It looks like a gacha game, right? Because it's free. Because I see a lot of old characters in there. I see Maria. I see Alucard. I see Soma Cruz. I see Charlotte from Portrait Ruin. I see Simon. A bunch of characters from past games are here.
Yeah.
Character growth, experience base. This is a Castlevania gacha game. Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like gacha games when they're done okay. I actually don't think gacha games have to be bad. Now, most of them are bad because they're just made exploitatively. But like one of my favorite gacha games is Final Fantasy Record Keeper, because the only gacha aspect is rolling equipment for characters. You unlock all the characters just by playing through the story, and when you get to certain points, it's like, oh, you got the soul for this character. You still have to upgrade them and grind and stuff, but like for the most part, it's like they just give you everything. There are good ways of doing gacha, and there's bad ways of doing gacha.
Yeah. Is this Grimoire of Souls, is it available on Android too?
Looking.
I thought you were looking in the Play Store.
Well, I'm on the Castlevania wiki. It's available in Android in Canada.
It looks like Android and iOS.
Yeah. They probably beta tested it in Canada because like a lot of times they'll pick a single region to do an early beta version of a game before putting it out, and that's probably why it only shows Android for Canada there. It's probably available worldwide by now.
Yeah.
And you can actually play it on Mac via PC through the Apple Arcade subscription. So, like, you can actually play a PC version of the game. Well, a Mac is a PC. It's just a type of PC. But, like, you can actually... a PC version of the game is available, but only on Mac OS through the Apple Arcade.
Yeah, because, like, you
can play, like, any Apple Arcade game on Mac,
Yeah, they've been kind of merging the operating system, so almost anything on iOS you can also play on a Mac.
Yeah. That's actually something I always laughed about was those old commercials where it was like, hi, I'm a Mac, and I'm PC, right? Because it's trying to sell Mac. But a Mac is a personal computer.
Yeah.
So what's the alternative? It's like, what do you mean PC? Is that a Windows? Is somebody running Linux or Unix? Or what? Like, what do you mean by PC? You are a PC.
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't know if you had seen that before, but I just happened to...
No, I did not know there was a Castlevania gacha game. Let's see who's in here. Playable characters so far. We have, let's see, Genya, Arikado, Alucard, Simon, Charlotte, Maria, and Shinoa. Oh, Soma's not even on there. He was on the front page. Why is he not a playable character? Allies. So these are like the people that your playable character can have with them. Are Lucy, Hermina, Richter, Jonathan, another Maria Renard, the Symphony of the Night version, so there's two of her. The playable one is the Rainbow of Blood. Albus, Soma Cruz. Aw, man, why are you only an ally? You're my favorite character. Trevor Belmont. And we have Annette. Then antagonists, the only ones that have showed up so far for like big bosses at the end of missions are Dracula and Death. Still a fairly new game. It's only been out for like a year. Maybe other characters will come out by now, you know. Still though, for like a year, most gacha games, they go crazy in their first year. They'll give you like 20 playable characters and then they'll slowly roll out them by events.
Yeah. So yeah, at least you're doing something with Castlevania.
yeah, it's better than seeing it. I still want to see Igarashi come back and do another game like Symphony of the Night. Yeah. After Bloodstained was successful, he said Konami was talking to him and how they kind of want him back because they saw Bloodstained's success and like we'd like to make another Castlevania. But this was also like pre-pandemic time when they were talking about this. Who knows if they did start working on something? They were in development when the pandemic hits, so that got pushed back to whenever. And also, you know, he wants to continue making Bloodstained too because he said he would work on both projects at the same time. Who knows how slow things are going to go if you're working on two almost identical series.
Yeah. Bloodstained recently got an update of some sort.
Oh, did it?
I think it was just bug fixes, but, you know.
I recently found my copy of Bloodstained. Or I guess not found. It was sent to me. Buck moved, for those who know who Buck is in our community. He is a friend of mine from high school. He was in our tabletop games that we streamed here for Final Fantasy and whatnot. He and his folks moved up to Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
So when they moved, he found that there was still some of my stuff over at the place put in a box, and Bloodstained was one of the things in there. It's like, oh, I was wondering where that was. So I haven't touched it in a while.
You had a physical copy?
Yeah, I have a physical copy for the Switch.
Wow.
I got for like dirt cheap too, because the physical copies at Walmart had been dropping in price. And then I got mad because I got mine for like, I say dirt cheap, for $40, which for a Switch game is kind of cheap when it's still fairly new. Next week I go back, it's already dropped down to 35. It's like, damn it. I bought it a week too early.
Yeah. It always happens. Why would you move to Minnesota, of all places?
His dad's from that area. I know. Blame his mom. It's actually, even though his dad's from that area, it was his mom's idea, not either of theirs. Barnesville. It's like,
yeah,
I think an hour, somewhere between half an hour to an hour drive from Minneapolis, out in the middle of the sticks.
Nick Ricada's in Minnesota. God.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody want to live there. Why would you want to live in a state where the people who run it actively hate the people who live in there?
Yeah. Seriously. I mean, I could see reasons of living in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But Minnesota?
Well, there's a lot of people with Viking ancestry from the the Dutch people that moved over there. That it's just been their homeland for what, couple centuries now. They keep wanting to go back. It just calls to them. And some people are sick and tired of the Texas summers, so they rather deal with the cold, unbearable Minnesota winters.
Yeah, I get to experience the Texas summer this July.
Yeah.
Should be.
I'm tempted to go. How much did you get your ticket already?
Yeah, the tickets aren't bad. It's the hotel that's the killer.
How much are the tickets?
Well, here's the thing. The best ticket you can get is sold out.
Okay.
So it's the one that is still available is not that expensive.
Okay, so the default guest ticket, how much is that?
I'm looking. I can't remember. So yeah, the 4-day pass is $85.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
The super pass, which is what I wanted to get, was $300, but that's sold out. But yeah, I mean, $85, that's nothing compared to the freaking hotel that's like,
yeah,
this is going to set me back about $1,000 just to stay there for 3 days.
That's the thing that stops me from going to those things is the cost of the hotel. I remember when I went to SGC in Austin, because hotels in Austin are more expensive than they are in Dallas. For comparison, when we went to SGC in the Dallas area the previous year, it was, I think, $400 total for the weekend, $450 or whatever that we split. When we went down to Austin, it was like splitting $1,000 for the same weekend. Same hotel chain too. That's just the difference in the expense of the area.
Mm-hmm.
And well, again, Houston's no better.
We'll have to see if I can't get Peach to come with me, then maybe we could share a hotel room and you could just come and buy a pass at the door.
Yeah. We'll consider it.
We'll see. I'm still hopeful. We'll see.
I think for the most part, that's all I had to talk about.
Well, that's all I had to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Wordle.
Comics. I showed you my. Well, I posted in the Discord. Did you see my new scanner / printer?
Yeah. What the hell?
It's huge.
Thing's gigantic.
Let me show the.
Like I used to have like an office printer, like laser printer that I thought was gigantic, but it's like it was half the size of that.
Yeah, it's huge.
Oh my god! So that can scan A1 paper.
No, A3. Which is 11 and a half by 17, I think. It's pretty big. So something you have to understand about, let me pull myself back down, about like metric paper size is it starts off at like, I think A6, which is like super tiny. And technically you could say A0, but it's easier to conceptualize it from the smallest to the highest. A4 is the one that most people deal with. And A4 is approximately legal paper size, but it is metriced to the golden ratio. So instead of being 8.5 by 11, it's 8.25 by 11.5. So it's slightly narrower, but longer. And each size up, it just doubles up. So you take it on its shorter side, put those together, and then it creates a new rectangle the same size. That's what makes it, or same proportion, is what makes it metric. And it golden ratios out until you get to A0, which is this huge contracting paper that almost nobody uses. Yeah. And I don't even know if there is a scanner big enough. You basically have to get like a laser scanner, like a camera, where it just like sweeps a light across the whole thing in a dark environment. But mine does A3, which is one size up from A4. So if I were to take two A4 pages and put them on their side next to each other, that would be the size that it encompasses. Wide format scanner. Thing is huge. It's like a cooler. That's the size of it, like an ice chest you'd bring camping. And even lifting up the lid to scan, it feels like I'm opening an ice chest. I'm disappointed when I don't see a soda inside.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have it. I'm glad it prints A3 size as well, so I not just scan art, but I could print it if I wanted to. 2 trays, so I can hold like legal paper in one tray, paper for art in another. And I'm just happy to get back to working on stuff. I had pages sitting here for me to scan just for months, including the last page of a pop rock short that I was going to go and scan back in January when my old scanner died. So it's just been like sitting there waiting for me to finish that short. And I finished it this morning and posted it. So it's available if anybody wants to read an 8-page short of 2 girls who are the like sisters who are the lead of a kind of garage band taking a day off of tour to the beach, and they run into their arch nemesis there and end up on like a beach foot chase / boat chase. It's fun. There's a shark attack in there. Takes almost no time to read it. I think I dropped the link in the Discord, but I'll probably drop it in the chat as well. It's for anybody watching.
The only other story I'm seeing is slightly interesting. Is that apparently the Sonic Frontiers demo dropped, and people are not happy.
oh, I have not heard that. What about it?
I don't know. Apparently, people are very unhappy about the. I don't know, the look of it. It just looks kind of sparse and. Well, let me see. Lonely Goomba said the gameplay demo had so many dash panels into springs and automation. I'm nervous. The demo did not look great. So other people said,
despite being open world, it kind of feels on rails because of all the dash panels and springs. Yeah.
Like the animations are stiff. The game world looks sparse. Perceived lack of momentum of Sonic.
Sounds like typical Sonic team problems.
Yeah. You want to see the it's a little, it'll take us to the end of the show if you want to watch it.
Yeah. Because like I've always said, one of the biggest problems with Sonic games, he's a character who's supposed to go fast, and they make the games and they stop you from going fast. And you'd hope an open world game would solve this problem, but apparently it may not.
Yeah. Or it just doesn't look natural or something. I mean, it starts out pretty good. But it's funny that, like, people are wanting them to delay it to improve it so much that it's been like trending on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Well, the people on Twitter bullied the movie studio that made Sonic into making a better CG model. Maybe they can bully Sega into doing this. It's the Miyamoto principle, which isn't always the case. It tends to be for Nintendo. Let's see if Sega can pick that up. But a rushed game is never good or finished, while a delayed game can be eventually good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a lot of this platforming just reminds me of like Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
So you'd expect some sections like this in the game. It does kind of look like he's going fast. The problem is just like zooming around a certain section. They said the world's sparse. You kind of actually want the world to be sparse to some degree, because if Sonic is moving as fast as he should be going, you're going to get places in no time. If everything was so cramped next to each other, you wouldn't get to go fast. So you want a lot of these little amusement sections, but you want them to have enough distance in between them that you can go fast in between.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to. I don't know. Sonic has always had that problem.
Yeah,
had that problem to me is like, it's not a Mario game. It's not a Zelda game. What is it? Like you said,
it's more like Mario than it's not.
Yeah.
Like that would be the category you throw it into. But, the whole point is that Sonic is a cool character. Actually, I think the appeal of Sonic's character design is the only thing that's been carrying this franchise for how many years. But the whole thing is it's supposed to go fast. He's a platformer where you're supposed to go fast, and some levels actually let you do that. And when Sonic's working well, he's great. It's just not very often working well.
Yeah. There's some interesting... I mean, I can see where like some of these areas seem very contrived. Right?
Yeah.
Because they have to be designed in a way that he can go fast through the whole thing. And
yeah, I'm also wondering like how many of the people complaining have actually played previous Sonic games. Because I would be complaining from the perspective of this doesn't look too much like anything I haven't already seen in a Sonic game, except for the amusement park does seem kind of open world. So that's already a plus. Like, I'm not stuck on a track with all these random rails and stuff. I can run around and choose which one I'm going to jump on freely. But like everything he's doing here just looks like a more polished Sonic adventure.
Yeah.
Right. Like the way these springboards and these rails were in Adventure and Adventure 2. The light dash, the homing attack to jumpers, and like this all just looks like Sonic Adventure stuff.
Yeah. It doesn't look bad to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what people want in terms of like the world being sparse. Like I don't see any enemies, but there's certainly lots of like things to do, it looks like.
Yeah, and this is also a demo. Like the game might only be in tech demo form, right? There might be more enemies and stuff in the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it might be communication. Maybe they didn't tell people how, like, the state of this demo, what it's supposed to be, right? Like, they just probably said, here's a demo.
What's the release date of this?
Yeah. I mean,
do we know yet?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, if it's not for another year, it looks fine to me.
Yeah. Oh, they might even have it more finished. Initial release, apparently this year sometime.
All right.
We don't know when, just it says 2022. It might be why people want to push it back. They could have like enemy models and AI and stuff finished. They just don't want you to see it in the demo, which I think would be a mistake. You should at least have some of it so people can get a feel of how combat will be. Like, is the homing attack precise? Can we do normal Sonic things? Is it going to feel good to fight enemies, to platform and stuff like that?
Just kind of looking through, it doesn't look like they show any enemy fights. So, clearly that just means they just don't want to show it right now.
Yeah, I think they're just amusement park. This whole demo just feels like it's a Sonic amusement park.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but most people want to see they want an experience of the finished game in a demo. They would like to play something that's, even if it's like open world and doesn't necessarily have levels in a traditional sense, they want to play something that's akin to a level.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this looks like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's like everywhere. Like even as sparse as it is, like Sonic's fast. It doesn't look like you're spending too long between sections, like getting to another rail or anything like that. So,
ooh. All right, well, I'll stop.
It does look like there's nothing to do though, and that's probably just the nature of the demo. There's no enemies to fight.
Yeah.
No quest givers. If it's an open world game, you expect there's probably going to be people giving you quests. I think they're probably going to try to do what they wanted to do with Sonic 06 in the first place, but just could not pull off.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, looks great to me, frankly.
Didn't look buggy, honestly. Most Sonic stuff are so buggy that nobody gets lucky. Everybody runs into a bug. It's not like you can see somebody play through a whole demo and not hit something.
Yeah.
Better in Adventure 2, I didn't see the guy just like jerk off to like the right direction at a 90-degree angle for no reason because they hit a corner.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm considering.
My standards for Sonic are pretty low because they've set the bar pretty low over the years. I think it's pretty easy to please me at this point as somebody who wouldn't classify himself as a Sonic fan. I'm not expecting like gold from a Sonic game.
Yeah. I mean, frankly, it looks more fun to me than the Kirby open world game. I mean, which also looks pretty decent, but I'm not really into Kirby. So, seems good. I guess we'll see what happens when it comes out.
Yeah, we'll see. And in the meantime, we made it to the end of the show. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoy the show, please share it with somebody else who might enjoy it. Helps out more than you think. And if you really enjoy the show, consider giving a donation to streamlabs.com/Vomitorium live. Helps out with our monthly hosting fee. And, kind of just makes us feel good. Everybody likes to see a donation. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See ya.
the bass, follow the bass.